Mr. Shaikh Azim Sharif, who will be joining us. Professor Dr. A. Nagapan, Director Innovations, Vmrfdu. Professor Dr. A. Rajan Samuel, Deputy Director Academics. Dr. Surya Narayanan, Deputy Director Research, for the occasion, and kindly request them to occupy the seats on the dais. Mr. Shaikh Azim Sharif, who will be joining us. Professor Dr. A. Nagapan, Director Innovations, Vmrfdu. Professor Dr. A. Rajan Samuel, Deputy Director Academics. Dr. Surya Narayanan, Deputy Director Research, for the occasion, and kindly request them to occupy the seats on the dais. Mr. Shaikh Azim Sharif, who will be joining us. Professor Dr. A. Nagapan, Director Innovations, Vmrfdu. Professor Dr. A. Rajan Samuel, Deputy Director Academics. Dr. Surya Narayanan, Deputy Director Research, for the occasion, and kindly request them to occupy the seats on the dais. Mr. Shaikh Azim Sharif, who will be joining us. Professor Dr. A. Nagapan, Director Innovations, Vmrfdu. Professor Dr. A. Rajan Samuel, Deputy Director Academics. Dr. Surya Narayanan, Deputy Director Research, for the occasion, and kindly request them to occupy the seats on the dais. Mr. Shaikh Azim Sharif, who will be joining us. Professor Dr. A. Nagapan, Director Innovations, Vmrfdu. Professor Dr. A. Rajan Samuel, Deputy Director Academics. Dr. Surya Narayanan, Deputy Director Research, for the occasion, and kindly request them to occupy the seats on the dais.
Attending the boot camp,
Mr. Shaikh
National Level
Azim
Sustainability
Sharif, who
Hackathon
will be
Challenge,
joining us.
organized by the
Professor Dr.
Entrepreneurship
A.
Development
Nagapan,
Institute
Director
of India,
Innovations,
Gujarat, in
Vmrfdu.
association
Professor Dr.
Honorable
A.
Government
Rajan
Research
Samuel,
Foundation,
Deputy Director
Greenfield
Academics.
University.
Dr.
Good morning,
Surya
everyone.
Narayanan,
Begin
Deputy
this
Director
miracle
Research,
occasion
for
of
the
the prayer
occasion,
song.
and kindly
May I now
request
request
them
the
to
gathered
occupy the
extend a
seats
warm
on the dais.
revival to attending the boot camp.
Mr. Shaikh
National Level
Azim
Sustainability Hackathon Challenge, organized by the Thank you all. Please be seated. A warm welcome is never complete without warm words. May I now request the Director Innovation, Incubation and Entrepreneurship, Dr. A. Nagapan, the gathering. Thank you all. Please be
Good morning
seated.
to one and all.
A warm welcome is never complete without warm
behalf
words.
of,
May I now
Vinayagar
request the
Mission Research
Director
Foundation,
Innovation,
deemed to be
Incubation and Entrepreneurship, Dr. A. Nagapan, the gathering.
for this sustainable hackathon challenge, a nationwide challenge organized by Entrepreneurship Development Institute
you
of
all.
India.
Please
Good morning to one and all G20 Summit.
A warm welcome is never
I
complete
warmly
without
on
warm
behalf
words.
of
May I now
Vinayagar
request
Mission,
the
our
Director
beloved
Innovation,
deemed to be
Incubation and
Executive
Entrepreneurship,
Director,
Dr. A. Nagapan, the gathering.
Mr. Gokul, Sustainable Hackathon Challenge, a nationwide challenge for organizing over here Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India. Good morning to one and all G20 Summit.
A warm welcome
request,
is never
I
complete
warmly
without
on
warm
behalf of
words.
Dr.
May I
Elil
now
Vendan,
request the
our
Director
beloved
Innovation,
Honorary
Incubation and
Executive
Entrepreneurship,
Director,
Dr. A. Nagapan, the gathering.
Mr. Gokul, Sustainable Hackathon Challenge, a nationwide challenge for organizing over here Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India. Good morning to one and all G20 Summit.
A warm welcome
request,
is never
I warmly
complete without
on
warm
behalf
words.
of Dr.
May I
Elil
now
Vendan,
request the
our
Director
beloved
Innovation,
Honorary
and
Executive Director,
A. Nagapan, the gathering.
Mr. Gokul, Sustainable Hackathon Challenge, a nationwide challenge for organizing over here, Dean of Mass Development Institute of India, and all G20 Summit. I request backbone of this particular national hackathon challenge when we approached our honorable vice chancellor. At no time he said, go ahead and see that it should be I also welcome my colleagues, Dr. Rajan Samuel and Dr. Surya Narayanan and Dr. Selva Kumar from Ganeshan Incubation and Entrepreneurship Center. My coordinators for this great event, I have to thank both of them, Dr. Sindal Kumar from Medical College and Dr. Sridevi from Engineering College, and Dr. Govulakan from Homeopathy. Thanks for coming over here. And last but not least, my dear friends from various colleges who have come over here for this boot camp. You just stay here for this day, enjoy the entire boot camp session, and the finalists for attending the final at Gujarat will be announced in the evening. There will be a video conferencing from the officials of Gujarat in the evening. They will be announcing the list who will be selected for the Gujarat final. So the day will be very much interesting. And you all know about this Sustainability Hackathon Challenge. Under G20 Summit, 11 Sustainability Development Goals have been identified. That is available in the website of EDAA. And based on these 11 Sustainability Development Goals, ideas have been invited from students all over India by Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India. The project was given by Government of India to EDAA. EDAA went into the help of around 12 academic institutions in India. One such institution is Vmrfdu, selected out of 12 as regional host. And we invited ideas. 176 ideas came for us. We screened in online with our 2 batches of juries, and 64 ideas shortlisted preliminarily. And after assessment, it has gone to the officials to Gujarat. They will be announcing the result today evening. How many of them will be going for finally? So this is the short importance about this particular Sustainability Hackathon Challenge. First of its kind, Government of India is conducting through EDAA and the G20 Summit under this 11 Sustainability Development Goals. That is very important, note down. So we thank all of you for coming over here, and we wholeheartedly welcome for this event. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll have the traditional lamp lighting as a tribute to Goddess Saraswati, God of Knowledge. May I now request the chief guest, Mr. P. Sivakumar, Associate Vice President, Startup TN, to light the Kuthuvilakku. And I request the dignitaries on the dais to join him. May I now request the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Vmrfdu, Professor Dr. P.K. Sudhir, to deliver the presidential address.
Respected chief guest of this today's function, Thiru Shivakumar, Associate Vice President, Tamil Nadu Startup and Innovation Mission, Department of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Government of India. Respected Executive Director, Mr. Gokul Krishnan. Respected Mr. S. Jayashankar, Project Officer, Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, Southern Regional Office, Bangalore. Respected Registrar, respected Dr. Elil Vendan, Dean, VMKV Medical College. India. Government of India has selected 12 institutions in India, 4 from Tamil Nadu. And we are extremely proud that Vinayaga Mission Research Foundation deemed university selected one of the 4 in the state of Tamil Nadu. Apart from Bharatidasan Trichy, Anna University Chennai, and Nehru Institutions, Nehru Engineering College in Coimbatore. National education policy has given a new direction to our higher education institutions and focusing innovations, entrepreneurship, critical thinking, problem-solving attitudes among the student community, other than their respective domains in the curriculum and syllabus. The Government of India and Government of Tamil Nadu has taken a very keen interest to promote all these goals of national education policy and start newer thought process and newer ideas and getting the ideas from the students. My dear students, whatever the facilities we are enjoying right now are the efforts of the previous generation. Now we have a very serious responsibility to take this, our country, into a very higher level. And you are aware that we are presiding the presidency of this G20 for 2023 is Government of India is taken as that lead role. And already our Professor Nagapan has mentioned, we are focusing on 11 sustainable developmental goals. Starting from no poverty, zero hunger, safe water and safe drinking, safe water and safe air, etc., etc. I understand in this hackathon challenge, 176 team members are registered from 12 districts, 12 or 14? 12 districts in the state of Tamil Nadu. And the selection process is going on. And the selected teams will be declared in the evening in our validatory function. As a university, we are having institutions in Salem, Payyanur near Mahabalipuram, Pondicherry and Karaikal, in medicine, dentistry, engineering, management, health sciences, all different disciplines. We are offering 145 UG and PG programs apart from PhD program in 10 faculties. And we have our 14 institutions are having Institution Innovation Council recognized by MSME. See, suddenly nobody will become a startupper or an entrepreneur because you're all joined an institute for getting a valid degree and going for higher studies or for placement. So what we require in educational institution is a culture, an entrepreneurial culture or an innovation culture, and the culture will promote you. You will have many ideas. See what happens, ideas will be there in the brain of the students, and they think and they stop, because it will not be taken up to further scales. What we require in higher education institutions is the culture, is an innovation culture or a startup culture. I'm extremely proud to say that our engineering colleges, we are having an incubation centers. Both the engineering colleges in Salem and Payyanur, we are having an incubation center, and which promote the startup ideas of our students and faculty members. I just happened to read a book which has sent free by somebody, as the publisher has sent to my address, to the Vice Chancellor, address of Vice Chancellor of Vinayaga Mission. They have sent a copy. The name of the book is The Entrepreneurship, The Fascinating Journey, written by Rangaraja from Coimbatore. I was going through this book, and he has narrated the stories of success stories of the business concerns in a medium cities like Coimbatore. We have many books with the startup success in Bombay, Delhi, Calcutta, Chennai, and Ahmedabad, and bigger cities. So what I wanted to convey to my teams who are here, student communities, student teams who represent from various institutions from 12 districts of Tamil Nadu, please read this book, and how a venture, how an idea can taken into a business concern, and how the business can be promoted and to the sustainable developmental goals and to the national development, and you become the taxpayer and you have become part of the nation development. I'll just read a few few takeaways or take-home messages from the book. Learning is the most important part of one's entire journey, and entrepreneurs should keep learning continuously and enjoying do it. You should enjoy it. You should have an happiness. See, money making is not the only concern in a business. If you are not happy in that process, it will not sustain, it will not continue. So you should enjoy, and you should do the concerns. Keep exploring new opportunities always. Something new. When the mobile phone was started, what was the cost involved for even incoming calls they were charging? And what was the version of that mobile phone? What is the current version of mobile phone we are having? So they keep on exploring further development. The computer what we are having in 1980s and 1990s has been completely changed, because keep exploring new opportunities always, and even when exciting existing ones are doing well, even they do well, think of something new. Fellow ethical practice, that is very important in whatever you do. In the top 50 countries, 50 business concerns in the world could not sustain their development because they didn't keep up the ethical standards or ethics in the business. So ethics in the business is very, very to be considered. There are experts, they will be talking on more. I'm not an expert in this field, but I just read it. And have a hybrid team. For any effort to take into a business project, you need a team. And that team should be a mixture of seniors and a mixture of young people. That is what is called a hybrid team is required. So I just wanted to say, I would say once again to the student communities who are registered here, please go through this book and get some new ideas. I'm sure in future, some of you will be sitting in this stage and delivering on entrepreneurship and delivering on startups and how to be successful startups. I just wanted to convey this. There are 3 sessions today after these sessions. One on bootcamp session on sustainable startups by Mr. Saidin Sharif, an online delivery. Another on value innovation by Vivek Manoharan. And another on entrepreneurship and ecosystem support by Mr. Jai Shankar, the project officer from Bangalore. So I'm sure there will be some take-home messages and takeaways from this session. And I'm sure there is a very serious deliberation is going to happen, and you will have definitely some learning process in this day session. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's an honor to introduce the chief guest, Mr. Sivakumar P., an innovation enabler, Associate Vice President, Regional Ecosystems, Tamil Nadu Startup and Innovation Mission. Sir is currently managing Startup Tamil Nadu regional hubs at Madurai, Tirunelveli and Erode and Chennai Metro Hub to foster innovation and entrepreneurship with a special focus on Tier 2 cities. Sir is part of the committee which drafted Tamil Nadu Incubator Maturity Model Framework and implemented Startup to Government Market Access Program with state departments. While serving as the Chief Executive Officer NABARD MEBIF, Sir has created strategic framework for coordination, consolidation, synergy and success of incubator and incubated around 151 early stage startups and 290 FPOs. Sir has facilitated filing of 17 patents, 58 trademark and 8 GI by acting as the chief experimenter and encouraged startup to innovate, helping them in converting ideas into products and commercialization, creates significant value for startups, investors and incubator. During his career, Sir has served as business manager, Agri-Innovate India Limited and India Institute of Horticultural Research. Sir has been involved in projects building awareness on intellectual property rights for MSME, Ministry of MSME, Catalytic Capital Fund for supporting rural and agribusiness startups, Central Sector Scheme for formation and promotion of 10,000 FPOs in Tamil Nadu. Sir is a board and committee member of National Advisory Committee on Produce Fund, Government of India, NABARD Incubation Center, Institutions Innovation Council, Alagappa University. And may I now request the chief guest, Mr. P. Sivakumar, Associate Vice President, Startup TN, to address the gathering.
Thanks for the introduction. It was in a long time I heard that thing. Respected Executive Director, sir. Respected Vice Chancellor, sir. Respected Register, sir. Project Officer EDI. Vivek Manoharan, sir. And then student friends, other faculties, and people from different regions. நான் கொஞ்சம் தமிழ்ல பேசுறேன் so that it will be தமிழ் யாருக்காச்சும் புரியாதா? Somebody is not able to understand Tamil? Okay, I think some people are there. I think I will mix both. Okay, I'll take 10 minutes. I will set a tone. Why? Where is this economy, or where our future of students, our future of jobs is going on, and how this hackathon will help you. Firstly, I am from a rural background. When I was in a student, I struggle a lot to speak in a stage. எனக்கு வந்து முன்னாடி வந்து ஒரு 10 பேர் நின்னாவே பேசுறதுக்கு பயமா இருக்கும். Freshers Day ஒன்று வைப்பாங்க காலேஜ்ல. At that time, we have to go and say, I'm from this particular district. My name is this, and I have scored so much mark in 12th. I was not able to say that in the first day of my college. And my professors has taught me so much. என்னோட ப்ரொஃபசர்ஸ்னால தான் என்னால் இந்த ஸ்டேஜில் வந்து நிற்க முடியுது. அந்த ஒரு நன்றியை வந்து நான் வந்து என் ப்ரொஃபசர்ஸ்க்கு நான் இந்த ஸ்டேஜில் வந்து தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறேன். பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் ப்ரொஃபசர்ஸ் I was no one. It was the professors who has taught me to win. The bond between students and professors when I was studying, now 2005-9 என்னோட BSc Agri முடிச்சேன். I'm an Agri graduate. The bond was there. ஒரு ஸ்டூடெண்ட் ப்ரொஃபசர்ஸ்க்கு வந்து ஒரு 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 நல்ல அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங் இருந்துச்சு. பட் வாட் ஐ ஃபெல்ட் இஸ் நவ் தட் இஸ் மிஸ்ஸிங். இப்போ என்னன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, நாங்கள் படிக்கும்போது வந்து ஆன்லைனில் கிளாஸஸ் கிடையாது, இன்டர்நெட்டே கிடையாது. நாங்கள் வந்து இன்டர்நெட் எடுக்கணும்னா நாங்கள் வந்து we have to catch a bus. ஒரு go to an cyber cafe, 15 ரூபா கொடுத்து அதில் வந்து CD 10 ரூபாய்க்கு வாங்கி டிரைவ் பண்ணி பண்ணணும். அந்த கிளாஸை மிஸ் பண்ணோம் அப்படின்னா வந்து நோட்ஸ் எடுக்க முடியாது. We have to take handwritten notes. At that point of time, there was so much dependence on professor, and then professor was the person who gave us the entire knowledge. Library was heaven for us. அதுக்கு என்னென்ன ஆச்சுன்னா, இப்போ வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா lots and lots of information are available. Selection of information is going to be a tough task for you. The future belongs those who are more attention towards what they need. Discipline இருக்கணும். அட்டென்ஷன் எக்கானமின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. 30 செகண்ட்ஸ்க்கு மேல யாருனாலையுமே அட்டென்ஷனா ஒரு இருந்து பார்க்க முடியாது. நான் பேசுறத 30 செகண்ட்க்கு மேல கேட்டீங்கன்னா அது என்னோட சக்சஸ் நான் நினைச்சுக்குவேன். ஏன்னா அதுதான் 30 செகண்ட்க்கு வாட்ஸ்அப் ஸ்டேட்டஸ் வச்சிருக்காங்க, 30 செகண்ட்ஸ் தான் ஒரு ரீல் வச்சிருக்காங்க. Because they know very well. And then what is happening in that way is they are limiting our attention to 30 seconds. So அந்த ஒரு இதுல நாம யாரும் போயிடக்கூடாது. This is the most important thing. Don't limit our attention or scatter your attentions. Multitaskings will be good. Everybody is going to do multitasking. This leads to something good. Why the institutions like Vinayaga Mission, the governments, why are they emphasizing on entrepreneurship, startups? ஏன் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, நீ ஒரு 5 to 10 வருஷத்துல பெர்மனன்ட் ஜாப் அப்படின்றது இருக்காது. மேபி இந்த பியூரோக்ரசி சிஸ்டமே மாறலாம். ஐஏஎஸ், ஐபிஎஸ் ஆஃபீஸர்ஸ் இருக்க மாட்டாங்க. மேபி அந்த ப்ரொடெக்ஷன்ஸ் அந்த சைட்ல இருக்கிறதெல்லாம் இருக்கலாம். அந்த பெர்மனன்ட் ஜாப் அப்படின்றது இருக்காது. நீங்க யூஎஸ்ல போய் பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா, வாட் ஹேப்பன்ஸ் இஸ் தே கால் இட் அஸ் அ கிக் எக்கானமி. இன்கம் டேக்ஸ் பத்தி உங்களுக்கு மேபி ஸ்லாப்ஸ் சொல்லி கொடுத்துருப்பாங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். அதுல வாட் ஹேப்பன்ஸ் இஸ் தேர் ஆர் டூ. ஒன் இஸ் இன்கம் ஃப்ரம் சேலரின்னு ஒன்று இருக்கும், இன்கம் ஃப்ரம் அதர் சோர்சஸ்ன்னு இருக்கும். அவர் எக்ஸிக்யூட்டிவ் டைரக்டர்ஸ் வாஸ் ஸ்பீக்கிங் அபவுட் பாசிவ் இன்கம், அவர்கிட்ட பேசும்போது வந்துச்சு. ஸோ யூஎஸ்ல பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இன்கம் ஃப்ரம் அதர் சோர்சஸ் அது அதிகமா இருக்கு. இப்போ என்னோட சேலரி ஒன்று எக்ஸ்ன்னு இருக்குன்னா, எக்ஸை விட என்னோட இன்கம் ஃப்ரம் அதர் சோர்சஸ் அதிகமா இருக்கு. விச் மீன்ஸ் இனி வருங்காலத்தில் நீங்க ஒரு ஜாப் பார்க்க மாட்டீங்க, ஒரே இடத்துல இருந்து 5-6 ஜாப் பார்ப்பீங்க. Your skill has to be redefined accordingly. When Vice Chancellor Sir was speaking about systems, computer 1980s இப்படி இருந்துச்சு அப்படின்னு இருக்கும்போது, every skill what you acquire here will expire in every 3 years. You have to completely unlearn, relearn, and you have to ensure that you have a continuous learning throughout your career. இல்ல அப்படின்னா you will expire. Not physically. It's like அந்த talent raceல நீங்க இதாயிருவீங்க. So the most important thing what you have to do is, gig economy, if you want to survive, the most important thing is you have to continuously unlearn and then relearn things. This is the most important thing, and you will learn that from this hackathon. In the hackathon, we conducted many hackathons, and one hackathon was in the நம்ம சேலம் ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்கா கூட ஒன்று வந்துச்சு. I will say that later. But எப்படி இந்த hackathon will help you அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, ஃபியூச்சர்ல பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா, if when you go to a work or when you are doing something, collaborating with talents is going to be the toughest task. I am an associate vice president. I have 10 associate vice president with me. We have to collaborate with each other. நான் அவனும் ஒண்ணுதான் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி வரலாம், அந்த ஈகோ கிளாஷ் வரலாம், அவனோட எனக்கு நிறைய தெரிஞ்சதுன்னு ஒரு ஜெல்லசி வரலாம், இல்லை ப்ரைடு வரலாம், அவனோட எனக்கு அதிகமா தெரிஞ்சதுன்னு ஒரு இன்ஃபீரியாரிட்டி காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் வரலாம், கியூரியாசிட்டி வரணும். இந்த இது நம்மளுக்கு இந்த ஹேக்கத்தான் உங்களுக்கு ஒரு இது கிடைக்கும். ஏன்னா ஐ திங்க் when Sir was mentioning 14 districts சொன்னாரு. 14 districts வரும்போது யார் என்ன பேக்ரவுண்ட்னு தெரியாது. If you are able to gel within this 3 sessions, that will be great. உங்களுக்கு இங்கிருந்து போகும்போது ஒருத்தரும் அட்லீஸ்ட் ஒரு 5 பேராவது இன்னொருத்தருக்கு எந்த காலேஜில் நீங்க பிபிடியும் போட தேவையில்லை. என்ன சொல்றது, சஸ்டைனபிள் டெவலப்மெண்ட் கோல்ஸ்க்கு எனக்கு இந்த ப்ராப்ளம் ஸ்டேட்டுக்கு சொல்யூஷன் கொடுனா அதுவே புரிச்சு கொடுத்துரும். How you are communicating that, how you are displaying that, how you handle and how you behave yourself, how you handle yourself in particular peoples. This matters a lot, and it is going to matter a lot in coming. ஒரு பிசினஸ் சக்சஸ் ஆகணும்னா அதை வந்து நம்ம மார்க்கெட் பண்ணாமே செகண்ட் டைம் வந்து யூஸ் பண்ணவங்க வந்து வாங்கணும். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் யூஸ் பண்றவங்க செகண்ட் டைம் நம்ம சொல்லாமே வந்து வாங்கணும். அப்போதான் பிசினஸ் சக்சஸ் ஆகும். யாருமே வந்து வாங்கல. என்னடா ப்ராடக்ட் நல்லா தான் இருக்குதுன்றாங்க, என்ன பிரச்சனைன்னு கேட்டா, ஃபோன் பண்ணி கேட்டா, சார் எங்களுக்கு தக்காளி வந்து வெட்டி போட்டாதான் வந்து இதா இருக்கு, ரசத்துக்கு புளிஞ்சு விட்டாதான் ரசம் செஞ்ச மாதிரி இருக்குனாங்க. ஸோ வி ஹேட் அ வெரி குட் சொல்யூஷன், பட் தட் சொல்யூஷன் டசன்ட் சிட் வித் த கன்சியூமர்ஸ். இட் மை நாட் சக்சீட். அப்புறம் என்ன பண்ணோம், இங்கே தான் வந்து நம்மள மாதிரி ஆட்களோடைய தேவை அவங்களுக்கு. இங்கே தான் வந்து இந்த ஹேக்கத்தான் மூளையை நாம் யூஸ் பண்ணோம். அப்போ நாம் என்ன யூஸ் பண்ணோம், ஓகே நாம் என்ன தப்பு பண்ணோம் அப்படின்னா, நாங்கள் என்ன பண்ணோம், பெங்களூரில் 10 லட்சம் ஃபேமிலி இருக்கு, 10 2 வேளை சமைச்சாலுமே வந்து அப்போ வந்து 10 into 2 20 lakhs பர் டேவே வந்து 20 lakh சர்விங்ஸ்க்கு வந்து யூ ஹேவ் அன் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி, திஸ் இஸ் யுவர் மார்க்கெட் பொட்டன்ஷியல் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறோம். தென் வி ஸ்டார்டட் ரியலைசிங் த கன்சியூமர்ஸ் ஆர் நாட் ஹவுஸ் ஹோல்ட் மெம்பர்ஸ். ஒரு நாள் கல்யாணத்துக்கு போயிருந்தோம். அந்த கல்யாணத்தில் வந்து ஒரு கேட்டரர் இருந்தார். அவர் வந்து ஹி டிடன்ட் டேக் த டொமேட்டோ. அவர்கிட்ட போய் கேட்டேன், ஏன் சார் ஒரு தக்காளி எடுத்துக்கல அப்படின்னா, எனக்கு அடுத்த முகூர்த்தம் வந்து 10 நாள் கழிச்சு இருக்கு, இதை என்னால் வச்சுட்டு இருக்க முடியாது, என்னோட லோடிங் அன்லோடிங் அண்ட் தென் ஸ்டோரிங் காஸ்ட்டே எனக்கு அதிகமாக போயிடும், இருக்கிற லேபர்ஸ்க்கு நான் கொடுத்தேன்னா தே வில் பி லாயல் டு மீ நாங்க. தென் வி ஃபவுண்ட் அவுட் திஸ் சொல்யூஷன் இஸ் நாட் ஃபார் ஹவுஸ் ஹோல்ட், திஸ் சொல்யூஷன் இஸ் ஃபார் திஸ் கேட்டரிங் பீப்புள் அண்ட் ஹோட்டல்ஸ். அப்போ அந்த சிங்கிள் 200 ml 500 mlன்றதை மாற்றி வி ஹவ் போட்டு 5 லிட்டர் 10 லிட்டர் கேன்ல கொடுத்த ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டோம். அவங்களுக்கு டிரான்ஸ்போர்ட்டேஷனுக்கு ஈஸியாக இருந்துச்சு. அண்ட் நம்மளுக்கே தெரியாமல் ஒரு பெயின் பாயிண்ட் அதை சால்வ் பண்ணுச்சு. முகூர்த்த நாட்களில் தான் தக்காளி விலை அதிகமாக இருக்கும், இவங்க எப்போ வேணா வாங்கி வச்சுக்கலாம். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி நாம வந்து ஒரு சொல்யூஷன் இருக்கும், அதை எப்படி வந்து என்ன சொல்றது பட்டிங் டிங்கரிங் பார்த்து நாம வந்து எப்படி கொண்டு போய் வந்து சேர்த்துறோமோ அதுதான் வந்து ஒரு இது இருக்கு. இந்த டேலண்ட்டுக்கு there is a demand, there is a huge employable potentials, பட் அவங்களுடைய எம்ப்ளாயபிலிட்டி ஸ்கில்ஸ் என்னன்னா, இப்போ ஒரு ஸ்டூடெண்ட் வந்து வெளியே வரும்போது, நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து வெளியே வரும்போது என்னோட இன்டர்ன்ஷிப்போட நான் வந்து ஒரு இன்டர்நேஷனல் இதில் பண்ணேன், 37,500 ரூபா. நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஜாப் செலக்ட் பண்ணது வந்து 12,000 போய் ஜாயின் பண்ணேன். அப்போ வந்து எவ்ரி ஸ்டூடெண்ட் என்னோட பேட்ச்மேட்ஸ் எல்லாரும் எனக்கு கிண்டல் பண்ணாங்க, யூ மேட் அ ராங் டெசிஷன் இன் லைஃப். அண்ட் எனக்கு தெரியும், நான் வந்து எம்பிஏ படித்தேன். எம்பிஏ படிக்கும்போது எனக்கு சிடிஎஸ்ல ஹெச்ஆர் கிடைச்சது, ஐடிஐபி பேங்க்ல வந்து அசிஸ்டன்ட் மேனேஜர் எனக்கு முடிஞ்சுனா கிடைச்சது. ஐ சூஸ்ட் ரிசர்ச் அனலிஸ்ட் ரோல் இன் இன்டர்நேஷனல் ஃபுட் பாலிசி ரிசர்ச் இன்ஸ்டியூட் அப்படி கிடைச்சது. அது என்னன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, அந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் காலேஜ் முடிச்சுட்டு போகும்போது எனக்கு வந்து 40,000 50,000 சேலரி வேணும், நம்மளுக்கு அந்த ஸ்கில்ஸ் இருக்கான்னு பார்க்கணும். அது எனக்கு வந்து அந்த இது இருந்துச்சு. பட் வாட் ஹேப்பன்ட் இஸ், நான் காலேஜ் முடிச்சு 12 வருஷம் ஆச்சு. when now I trace back, I earn a lot, at least 20-25% அதிகமாக வந்து என் பேட்ச்மேட்ஸ் மாதிரி வாங்கிட்டு இருக்கேன். அன்னைக்கு என்னோட டெசிஷன் தப்பா இருக்கலாம். when connecting the dots back, that's the best decision I made in my life. ஸோ நீங்க எடுக்கிற டெசிஷன் எல்லாமே கரெக்டாக இருக்கும். நீங்க பயப்படாம வந்து எல்லா டெசிஷன் எடுத்து போங்க. மோஸ்ட் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் திங், டோன்ட் ட்ரை டு கில் யுவர் கிரியேட்டிவிட்டி பை காப்பிங் ஃப்ரம் ChatGPT கூட போடுங்க, ஆனால் உங்க யூனிக்னஸை வந்து விட்டுறாதீங்க. So this is my request. Try to collaborate with everyone. Thanks a lot for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir, for your inspiring speech. May now request Professor Dr. A. Rajan Samuel to propose the vote of thanks.
Respected Chief Guest of the day, the Associate Vice President of Startup Tamil Nadu, Mr. P. Shivakumar. Thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invitation and joining us and giving a very meaningful and simple speech. I think this is what people call down to earth. So only when we talk in students' language, students understand. So that was wonderful. Thank you very much for coming, sir. And I thank our Executive Director, Campus Development, Mr. Gokul Krishnan Shanmugasundaram, sir, for immediately accepting our invitation. And he is always for the youth. And when we told him about this concept, he really got inspired, and then he wanted to see the creativity of the young minds. And thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invitation, being here. And our Vice Chancellor is always a person with vision and lot of what to say, like always he thinks about students. So he used to tell us, like every day, whenever you get up from the chair in the evening, you have to just think what good I have done for my students today. So that kind of person, he has been supporting for all the events, like whatever you go, he always says, do good, keep doing. So recently we did one national conference on innovations, and now we are in the second event within a very short notice. So that is all because of your guidance, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And our registrar, Professor Dr. B. Jacob, sir. So he is always an executing man. So continuous for hard work. We cannot have any other replacement. Always, he is always there. So keep on doing work. And definitely he was a great support for this conference. Thank you very much, sir. And our project officer of EDIA and the guest of honor, Mr. S. Jaishankar, sir. So he was the person who brought this idea to VMRF. So thank you very much, sir, for choosing our institution. And I hope VMRF has done justice for what EDA has requested us. And we had a great time with all of you. And I thank Dr. Vivek Manogaran, our proud alumni, and also a startup owner from Singapore. So he has been in touch with us for almost years. And then like he is always with us in whatever events we do. Thank you very much, Vivek Manogaran, sir. And our resource person who is joining us online, Dr. Sheikh Asin Sharif, who is the director of Fund Enable. Thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invitation and giving the scientific session. And probably like he'll be helping all those people, the young minds, and probably he'll help them in that. And I thank Ms. Deshika Prabhakar, who's an evaluator for this event, and she helped us in evaluating the proposals, and she encouraged all the young minds, and then she was trying to give her contact details, and then she was inviting everybody to join with her. So thank you very much for that, madam. No issues, ma'am. So I thank the Dean of the Medical College, Dr. Elil Vendan, sir. So always, whenever we have a problem, we think of our Dean, sir. And then when you take a problem to him, for him, every problem is a small problem. So definitely he is always there to help us. So I thank Professor Dr. Nagapan, sir, who was the initiative behind this whole thing. And in spite of our schedules in AAA audit and all that, so he was able to inspire all of us in executing this component. And I thank our colleague, Dr. S. Suryanarayanan, sir, the Deputy Director of Research, for supporting us in all the ways. And I thank. So finally, like I would like to thank EDIA for choosing us, and we now as VMRF has been a part in supporting this mission. So I would like to just say one small statement before I close the vote of thanks. I just remember our founder chancellor. He always, whenever you say something is impossible to him, he always makes it possible. So it is something which we all should have in our mind. All the problems, whatever we face, are some things which are thought that is not possible. So whenever we see a problem which is not possible, then you always think how to make it possible. And Only thing is we just need to know how important the problem is and how to solve the problem. Thank you very much for making this event a grand success. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir. We once again thank everyone for gracing the occasion, and I request the dignitaries on the dais to occupy the seats of the dais. Thank you. We request the gathering to break for refreshments being served outside the auditorium. And we request the participants to gather here back again by 11:15 a.m. The scientific sessions will start. By 11:15, please gather in the auditorium. Thank you.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Sir, good morning, sir. Sharif sir, I'm Napan here. Can you hear
Good
me?
morning, sir. How are you?
Fine, sir. Fine, sir. Sir, welcome to this Sustainable Hackathon Challenge.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me.
Our resource person today, Mr. Sharif is one of our best friend, a director for Fund Enable from Mumbai. A good idea from you today will be taken for investing. He is ready to invest. He is a very big startup founder from Mumbai. Thanks, sir, for accepting our invitation.
So thanks for the invite, sir. It's my pleasure to be with you people today as a part of G20 Startup Summit and then to address you people ideally. So, sir, can I start or is there any format that you wanted to set at the context?
Sir, you can start up. You can say about startup initiatives, PowerPoint, whatever you have with you.
Sure.
We will be giving you the introduction about you to the audience. Audience are from 12 different districts of Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
Around 200 plus audience are there in the auditorium.
Okay.
And with a brief introduction, you can start that, sir. Now we are going for a brief introduction about you.
Please, sir.
Thank you, sir. We would like to introduce the speaker for first session on sustainable startups. Mr. Shaikh Yazin Sharif is the director at Fund Enable, Startup Enabler, mentor at Startup Tamil Nadu and management consultant. Sir has a postgraduate diploma in management with a specialization in marketing and IT operations, masters in digital electronics and communication systems, and bachelor's in electronics and communication systems. Sir is a business leader with expertise in sales and marketing, driving business, strategic planning, operations management, business development, market growth, training and development, and liaising and coordination. Currently, Sir is leading institutional business activities for venture capital and private equity at Fund Enable. He works with 30 plus startup incubators across India, including D Labs of ISFB, Hyderabad, NSR CEL at IIM Bangalore, IIM Udaipur Incubator, ITIC of IIT Hyderabad, etc., and various accelerator programs, training programs on venture capital and private equity. Sir's forte lies in sales operations management, channel partner networking, customer lifecycle management, market penetration, channel partner management, events management, customer service excellence, strategic thinking and planning, and leveraging leadership in premium account management. We are happy to have you here today, sir. I request you to start the session.
Thank you. Thanks for your kind introduction. Good morning, everyone. So the context has been on the sustainable startups. So any idea, anything about sustainable startups? You have been hearing about startup ecosystem in India, where we have raised $75 billion in last financial year as startups. So from the funding perspective, our Indian startups has raised $75 billion last financial year. So if I cut down this, it is somewhere around 10,500 crores a week. If I further slice it down, it is 1,500 crores a day. So every day, 1,500 crores has been raised as an investment by Indian startups. So do you think with this money coming into the startups, can we have sustainable startups or just the unicorns? Any idea? So let me be very straight. Today we have been hearing about Zomato, Policy Bazaar, Nykaa, latest startups which have launched their IPO. Still, none of these startups are profitable. Though Nykaa has reported a profit in last financial year, this financial year they are bleeding. So building a startup doesn't mean you become a unicorn or you build such a startup where you have lots and lots of venture capital funds coming in and putting the money. The only idea behind building any startup, which you as a startup founder should focus premiumly on sustainable startups. So that is something you self-sustain yourselves. And then there should be some component of sustainable development growth. So SDG goals from US, which has been defined, there are 9 broad criteria on SDG goals, which you need to align with. Then your startup becomes very amazing. As a startup founder, ultimately, the end of the day, when you sleep, you need to have a peaceful sleep, stating that you have done some value addition to your customer, some value addition to your employees, some value addition to the society. So that's where the sustainable startup comes into the picture. For me, being into the startup ecosystem for more than a decade now, and raising more than $35 million for Indian companies, I strongly believe that raising money is not the only way to sustain your startups. The majority of the times, the way we build the sustainable startups is something which we have a strong vision to grow step by step. It doesn't mean that you are operating pan India or you are operating only particularly in one particular geography of Salem or Tamil Nadu. Think of the value addition that you are doing to the end customer. Typically, when you formulate a startup, when you build a startup, there are 8 contexts which you need to focus on. First is how strong is your founding team. So the strongness of the founding team means how well are you associated? How well are you inclined to the problem statement? Why have you picked up the problem statement? So what is the need of the hour? Why are you solving that particular problem? What are the complementary skill set that each of your founding team has so that you can contribute to solve that problem? So this is the first context which you need to identify while building your startup. Second is that the scalability of the business. So though we are solving a major problem, the end of the day, we are trying to commercialize our solution. Ideally, we are going to sell our service or the product which solves the pain point of the end customer or the target customer. So how big your business can be? So today you might have 1 lakh paying customers. Can it be converted into 1 crore paying customers in next 1 year? Does your business, does your solution have that capability of scaling the business? Third comes the value proposition. How strong is your value proposition? What is the exact value that you are adding to the end customer? So what is the benefit that he is going to get it using your solution? Today, people say that I don't have a competition in the market. For me, it's very straight that boss, it doesn't mean if you say that you doesn't have a competition, you have not understood the market. For every problem statement, there is a solution in the market. However, the approach of solving the problem is different. Now, how differently you are solving the problem, and then how unique you are from your competitors, and what is the more you are bringing to the table of the customer when you compare to your competitors is your value proposition. The stronger the value proposition, then the likeliness towards the acceptance of the product is more. Once you find out your value proposition, now comes the problem solution fitment stage, where you go to the end customer who has that particular problem and who is going to use your product or the service and then get his problem addressed. So at this stage, what is going to happen is that you offer your product or the service to a set of people who are going to use it and then come back to you with their feedback, whether really your service or the product is solving the problem or not. Is there anything which you can add further so that it becomes more vibrant? Or is there something else which you need to change in your product course line? So these are the things where you get as a feedback from the customer, which we call as like proof of concept stage. So for any startup, before they full-fledged operate in the business, go out and sell their product or service, they need to have a very strong proof of concept so that you need to understand the acceptance rate of your product or the service. So what is the exact feedback that the end customer is going? See, when we develop as startup founders develop a particular solution, we think of a problem. This is the problem that we need to address this problem. These can be the criteria. These are the ideal things which we have considered through our research, which we have identified and we started working. End of the day, someone else is going to use that product. We are not going to use it. We are developing a product or the solution for the customer. Now, customer has to come back to us. Now, in my case, if you speak about Fund Enable, what does Fund Enable do? So we work with 60+ incubators across India on capacity building of startup founders on capital raising, and then we help them in connecting to investors and raise capital. So that is something what we do. Now, we also have a suite of offerings for the incubators, which can be used by the startup founders so that they can understand capital raising process. 60 plus startup incubators are using the same module which is offered by us. Now these people will come back to us. Sharif, this is something which we are struggling. Can you help us on this? So these are the trigger points for me to understand where my product is lacking, or what is the expectation of the customer when he is using my product. Then I go back with my R&D team, sit across with the content team, redefine the course, and then again we share it back to the startup founders. So that is something which I need to do as a proof of concept. Then the proof of concept remains happening every day in my life, because every day in startup ecosystem things change very abruptly, very fast. Things will change, which we need to cope up with. Similarly, when you develop a product or a solution, you need to have very strong proof of concept where you understand what is the customer expectations, customer requirements, whether the product is solving a particular problem or not, what different things are the expectations from the customers. Now you get very random feedbacks from the customers. As a startup founder, you should be aware of which feedback to be accepted, what is the things happening, which feedback to be considered, what is the feasibility from the service or the product perspective that you can change so that it gets addressed to the mass problem. So once you have a very strong proof of concept stage, can you people hear me? Can you people hear me? Is there any gap? Sir, can you hear me? Yes, I'm sorry, there was a network hack, I think so. So I was speaking about proof of concept. So once you're done with proof of concept, then you need to analyze, how do I monetize this product or the service? So how do I generate revenue? How do I sell this product or the service? At what cost should I sell it? What would be my margins? Then you need to analyze in a multiple perspectives. So you need to consider certain parameters. One is that what is the capacity of the customer to, what is the capacity of the customer to pay, ideally to buy this product or the service, to which target segment are we selling? So what is the price that the competitors are offering? So how is that the market looking at it? If I have 10% of the margin, suppose something we call like cost of goods sold. So now if I am selling a water bottle, so I get some cost to manufacture, to produce the mineral water, to get the packaging done, then my distribution channel payments, my margins, etc. These all together comes under the cost of goods sold. Now, on top of it, I add some profit, right? Might be if I'm selling a water bottle at 10 rupees. So I think that if 5 rupees is my manufacturing cost, that is cost of goods sold, then if I'm selling at 10 rupees, then 5 rupees is my gross margin. So that is something what is to be very strong. Because if your unit economics is strong, unit economics is nothing but the margin, the profit that you make, the gross profit that you make on sale of 1 unit of the goods, 1 unit of the product or the service. So if the stronger the unit economics, then the scalability becomes very easy for you. And then on the monetization part, every organization today doesn't have one stream of revenue. You will have multiple streams of revenue, because once you are focusing on developing a particular product or service, there are certain byproducts or the by services which you can create, and then you can also offer as a solution to the customer. However, one core revenue stream is more important, which defines and inclines to your problem statement. Apart from this core revenue stream, there can be 2 to 3 ancillary streams even. So all together contribute to your revenue. So how do you monetize on this product or the services which you have in place? And then comes the market. So what is the market size which is available, which can be captured by you? Something what we call in the investment scenario is that total addressable market, total available market, total serviceable market, and total obtainable market. So total available market is something if we are considering to cater to the geography India. So if we are trying to offer our product as a service in the Indian geography, then the count of the population who are going to use my product or the service becomes my total available market. This total available market can be addressed in two different scenarios. One is either in the count of the population or in the count of the revenue that can be made. Similarly, the second stage is that once you are defined with total available market, then it comes total serviceable market. Total serviceable market is nothing but, so there might be 1 million population in India who are looking for your product or the service, out of which as a team at a particular point of time, you have some bandwidth limitation. You can only cater to 50K customers. So then it becomes your total addressable market. Now, total obtainable market. Total obtainable market is that 50K is the 50,000 people is something which is your bandwidth, which you can cater to as a with your product or the service. However, because there are competitors, there are other factors, costing, etc., come into the picture, you will be able to have only 30 customers. You will be able to obtain only 30,000 customers. Ideally, 30,000 customers will start using your operations. That is your total available addressable market. So now if you look into the market, then there are three segments, as I said: total available market, total addressable market, and total serviceable market. Your total serviceable market should be in a good number. So you need to have good market validation to have good total serviceable market. So this is one thing. Then the next thing comes is that so what is the entry barrier? Now, as you are trying to offer a particular solution to a problem which is being faced by the target segment, now what is the entry barrier that you create for your competitor so that he does not replicate the same value proposition which you are offering to the end customer? See, earlier days when e-commerce was very new in India, so there were certain things like when Amazon came into India as an e-commerce website to offer door delivery of certain services, then the Amazon website's UI was not very attractive. So navigating in between the pages was slightly difficult. Then Flipkart came into the picture with a strong proposition of UI stating that moving from one page to other page is very convenient. It made life easy for the end customer to come back. So if I'm going to choose one particular, if I'm searching for an air cooler to purchase, now if I put on the search bar as an air cooler, I get multiple air cooler listed on the platform. Once I get this list, what I do is that I go through certain specifications and then I keep, now I open one particular air cooler. If I'm opening MC Koi air cooler, and then I'm going through the specification. At the end, there are a couple of things which are called like suggestions. You can also check out the similar models in these companies. Now, if I check on that, if I click on that particular button and then move into that, now if I wanted to come back, it was very difficult in Amazon in the early days. Then what has happened when on Flipkart, it was very convenient to come back to exactly the previous page which I was. And even if you look at websites, earlier, once you navigate in different pages, it was very difficult to come back to the main page. Now, if you click on the logo, which is on the left or the top corner, then you get out to the home screen. That's how the technology has been a barrier in the early days. But nowadays, technology is not at all a barrier in e-commerce. So then the strong, then the entry barrier was created, like Amazon coming up and saying, we will deliver products in 24 hours. Post that, then the delivery system has changed. Then the people has come up with like 1 hour delivery. Then the people has come up with like, you choose your delivery slot. Then the people has come up like Zepto has came in and they said the 20 minutes delivery. So on the e-commerce portal, the barrier initially was technology, and then it has translated going forward in course of time into the time it is taking for delivery. Similarly, you need to have a very strong entry barrier. However, your entry barrier does not remain the same. today your entry barrier might be technology. Going forward, your entry barrier changes as you grow your business, as you diversify your business. Because it's very easy for a competitor to understand your value proposition and come back to you with a strong bounce back and offer the same value proposition and maybe more and above that. So these are the 7 components which you need to focus on while building a particular startup. Now, if I speak about the investments in these startups, you have a wide set of opportunity to raise capital. You can raise it from angel investors, you can raise it from friends and family, you can raise it from incubators, you can raise it from angel networks, you can raise it from micro VCs, you can raise it from small VCs, you can raise it from large VCs, you can go out and raise from private equity funds or the family offices or the HNI corporates. So there are wide set of opportunity available today in India. So I would like to stress a couple of points specifically. There are multiple incubators across India. One among is in your foundation is GEIC, Ganesan Entrepreneurship and Incubation Council. So you can go back to them, speak to representatives of GEIC, try to understand what facilities they have, what is that they are offering, because these incubators are ideally supported by Government of India and respective state governments. So these people will have certain funds with them, certain grants with them. So ideally, if I speak about typical, because I'm part of internal seed fund committees with 4 incubators across India today. So I can say very strongly. Guys, can you hear me? Can you people hear me? So there has been a freeze. Can you people hear me? Yeah. So I was speaking about incubators. So incubate, you can also connect with incubators. What is the role of the incubator? Let me just give you a brief on that. Incubator is an organization which is facilitating multiple opportunities for the startup fund, right from providing you with a co-working space, trying to help you to solve, understand your problem statement much better, connecting you to the mentors. So now there are wide set of mentors for each and area, each and every area which you need. It might be on the marketing, it might be on the product development, it might be on go-to-market strategy, it might be on pricing strategy, it might be on PR and marketing, it might be on fundraise, it might be on in general or team building, etc. So these people will help you. As a startup founder, my focus is on building a product or the solution which can be offered to the end customer. Now I will not have a muscle so that I can take care of every aspects. So I go back to experts to learn how do I do these things. So incubators will provide you access to the mentors. Incubators will provide you access to the other startup founders who have successfully done their ventures. Then apart from this, every incubator runs a set of programs which will help you to understand about the startup ecosystem, which will help you to understand about how do you grow your venture. Apart from, and the third point is that these incubators will also have certain government funds in place, which are given to them so that they can invest in startups. So which will help you to grow. So at different stages, different funds come into the picture. Now with the incubators, there is something like Startup India Seed Fund. There is something like Nidhi SSP. There is something Nidhi SSS, BIRAC Fund, BIRAC Big Grant. So these are multiple funding schemes which are from Government of India, which will help you to scale your venture. So at the initial stages, as a startup founder, you put in money to formulate your venture, get the business running. But going forward, you need money. Now, at very early stage, it's very difficult unless until you doesn't have substantial amount of revenue in place to raise capital from the investors. So at this point of time, these incubators are the right fitment who believe in you and support you. So the incubators are not meant for making money. Ideally, incubators are meant to support startup. That's the reason on very basic validation of their startup, they will take much risk and then invest money in you. So you can get in touch with GIC. GIC can help you in a lot of aspects on this. We are also working with GIC on this context. Once you have a very strong, once you figure out a strong problem statement and you are trying to solve it, please do connect with GIC. GIC going forward in turn will connect with us. We will also be excited to work with you people. These are the multiple government schemes which are available as I quoted. So you can raise money through these government schemes, which will come at a very lower cost to you. So the equity percentage which you need to dilute is very minimal when compared to typical angel investors or HNIs or the angel networks or the micro VCs. So this is slightly on the context from investment point of view. However, very typically speaking about SDG goals, so now when you build a startup, you need to think of what is the value addition that I'm doing to the bottom of the pyramid. So we work with a startup called Under the Mango Tree, which is one of the premium honey brands in India, which majorly relies on exports. So on the Under the Mango Tree, what we did is that we were trying to raise capital for them. So before we reach out to investor and raise capital, we need to understand more about the startup. When we had multiple discussions with the startup founders, when we asked them what is that you exactly do, so what Under the Mango Tree does is that they install bee boxes in multiple forms, like lychee form, mango form, tulasi form, etc. So they install bee boxes in the multiple forms because the bee box is in a particular form. Bees foster pollination. The pollination increases. Once pollination increases, the yield of the crop increases. So here what happens is that if the startup, if the farmer was making maybe 10,000 rupees of money on one particular farm, because of the availability of bee box in the farm, he might be making somewhere around 12 to 13,000 rupees. So that is one impact on his revenue, one impact on his profit. The second thing is that as bee box is already installed in the farm, the founders are not going to collect this honey for free of cost. They are going to buy money from the farmer. Once they buy honey from the farmer, what happens is that this becomes a passive source of income, secondary source of income to the farmer. Doing nothing, the farmer is getting some money because bee box is in the particular form. So that's how the income capacity of the startup farmer was increasing. So which helps him to have a better livelihood. So that was the impact that the Under the Mango Tree was creating to the farmers. Now, when they are looking to raise capital, this is something which needs to be projected to the investors to show that, boss, we are very much inclined to the impact space. We are creating impact to the bottom of the pyramid, that is farmers. We are increasing their income, which in turn help them to have better livelihood. So you need to understand when you build a business, so what is the impact that you are creating on the society? Ideally to the bottom of the pyramid, what is the value addition happening? Now there is other startup with whom we are working currently. So the startup is working on the healthcare space. In tier 2, tier 3 cities, what happens is that you doesn't have a very strong ERP system or the communication system in the hospitals to manage the patient records. Now, what this startup is doing is that they are just going to give you a link. It is something like you install your a mobile application on your mobile. It is something like you just install WhatsApp on your mobile. Similarly, these hospitals can have this download option where they can download their particular API. Through this API, what they can do is that they can store the records of the patients. They can just share it with the respective people. Now, if I went to a hospital and then I had a consultation with general medicine consultant. However, my problem has been identified that it has to be addressed by someone like an orthosurgeon. So I need not carry all my documents to the orthopedic surgeon. Rather, they can just give access to the orthopedic surgeon, and then it becomes very easy for the doctor and me to keep track of things, what's happening on my case. So this is something which has been a value addition to the hospitals which are in tier 2, tier 3 cities with a lower income. And then it definitely going to create impact on the patients, because for them accessing their records, maintaining those records is a challenge, because majority of times if you end up going to rural segments in India, they are not aware of how important the reports are a couple of times, because they are not very well educated. They are not aware of what would be the impact if I'm not storing this particular document. Someone, if someone has met with has gone through a surgery, then it is mandatory for them to have those records in place, at least the last record in place, so that in case if there is any complication, maybe after 2-3 years, when they go and consult a different doctor, he has to understand, right, what has happened in the past. So that you need to have those records. So that is something which is the impact being created by this startup. Prosco is the healthcare startup which is creating. So there is some other startup called Bagmo. Bagmo works on storing the blood. So now you are not aware of, so once you donate the blood, it has to be utilized in 20 days. And then till these 20 days, it has to be preserved in a particular temperature. If the things are not maintained, if the things are not happening, then there is an impact, right? The blood cannot be used for the transfusion. Now, even when you transport blood from one particular location to other location, you need to maintain the constant temperature. You need to take certain measures for that. Now, Bagmo helps you in tracking all these things, right? From the collection point to the infusion point, you can have each and every detail tracked using the using the solution which is offered by Bagmo. So this is a great impact which has been created on the medical health space. So you need to understand, when you build a startup, what is the problem statement I'm solving? What is the impact of it? What is the outcome of it? How strong are we adding a value to the end customer? So these are the couple of things from the sustainable perspective which you need to focus on. So can you people hear me? Yeah. Bye. So I was speaking about Bagmo, what they're doing. So they are in a startup which helps in tracking blood from right from the collection point to the infusion point, how many days it has been stored, at what temperature, how the things have been changing, how the transportation has done, everything. So this is the impact that it helps the doctor and then the medical staff to understand the quality, the timing, everything about the blood, which helps them in making some wise decisions. So when you build any startup venture, you need to understand what is the impact that I'm creating. What is the major value addition I'm doing to the bottom of the pyramid or a particular target segment. So you need to have a very sustainable startup. Sustainable doesn't mean you need not raise funds, or you need not go out and then do more things. Sustainable in the sense you should be self-satisfied. Even if you are not able to raise money from external investors, you should be able to run your business without any risk. So that is something about sustainability. The sustainability can be taken in multiple aspects. The other aspects which I've discussed, like the Under the Mango Tree, Bagmo, Prosco, a healthcare startup. So these are something, the impact that are being created on the society. That is the value addition that is being brought to the table to the end customer. So whenever you think of the startup, please analyze a problem statement in a very subtle way. Try to do a lot of dipsticking with the end customers. Try to speak to them. So one last example which I wanted to take is about Mamaearth. So you people might be knowing Mamaearth, right? It's a cosmetic brand which started as a paraben-free products for children. Now, when Mamaearth founders like Varun Alag and Ghazal Alag started this journey, they were corporate employees. They were typical IT employees. They used to, every Sunday and Saturday, they used to go to the mall, stand in front of the baby stores, and then speak to the parents to understand. So why did is this? They were about to have a baby. And then they figured out that boss, baby paida hone ke baad, there are certain problems using the products which are in the market. Now, to address this, they thought of speaking to multiple parents, understand what is their problems, what has been the things that they have been facing in the early stages of the baby, maybe somewhere around up to 2 years. So understanding these context, after doing a lot of dipsticking with speaking to the end customers, getting more and more information, they decided that boss, this product will be accepted. Then they went on doing multiple iterations of refining, and the products have been built and launched in the market, and they are currently doing good business. So whenever you think of a problem statement, just don't make any assumptions stating it was a problem. This is the problem statement. This is amazing because this is what we are facing. Try speaking to your end customers. Do not confine to one particular, maybe target segment of 10, 20. Try to as many as you can. Go to them with your partial solution. Speak to them. Can this right fitment? Your customer is your greatest asset who can help you in building your startup. So please be in connect with the customer, get constant feedback, redefine your business every time, do a lot of reverse engineering on your products, and then keep striving to do excellent in your ventures. So that's it from my side. Thanks, Nagapan sir, for having me on the panel.
Any questions you want to pose to Mr. Sharif regarding any investment part or how to start up your startup part, so that he can share his experience to you? Anybody from the audience? Please come out. We expect some 1 or 2 questions from you.
Even the participants, even if you wanted to know about Fund-Enable's journey, how did we start, etc., I would be happy to share, because everything in the startup ecosystem is sharing and learning. Nothing is an expertise that every person has.
We have a question from Ms. Desika, an entrepreneur from IIT.
Sure, sir.
Hi, sir.
Hi.
It was a very lovely, session. The description you gave, examples and detailing, it was more realistic. Thank you for that. So I just wanted to ask about the failure part. When you started, like, what was the biggest failure? Because when people start, that's one big that's one big apprehension they have. Like, what if we fail and all of that, right? Like, what was the biggest failure moment for you? How did you overcome that, like, in your journey?
So one of the biggest failure was not going digital from Fund-Enable standpoint of view at the time when we were supposed to go digital. So when we started, we doesn't have we had a great understanding of the startup ecosystem. We had great connections with the people. Unfortunately, we doesn't have a muscle power where we can translate our learnings into the digital format. As I said that we work with 60 plus incubators on capital raising, on capacity building of startup founders and capital raising. We used to travel to the incubators. We used to curate a particular boot camp for the incubator. We used to go there and train them. When COVID started, we told our business. Typically, what I can say is that we even struggled to pay salary to our office boys, because there was a demand, because startups were scaling. There was a requirement. We were doing only one-on-one mentorings virtually, but the virtual things were not working. By the time what we did is that we understood that, boss, there should be some solution which can be offered to the end customer, which we could have done a year back. So what we did is that me and Vikrant used to hold the handycam in hand, sit in front of the, put up a table, board, etc. And then we recorded the sessions on a curriculum-based format. We placed them on the platform. Then we asked our incubators, can you subscribe to this? Because this is not only the learning content, which is in the video format. We also curated tools and templates, which you can just download and then start building your investor document. Maybe in next 120 minutes, you can have that document in place. Which exactly took us somewhere around 80 to 90 days to do this. This exercise we could have done much earlier.
Yeah.
We were thinking, ki, chalo, business is growing, we are getting a lot of orders, we have a lot of demand. With this inception, we have not thought of going digital. We were not very versatile in this form of like doing webinars, etc. earlier. So which we have not adopted. But somehow pandemic came into the picture. It took toll on us. Business went literally to zero. Then we built it again from the scratch, going digital. Post that we had studio mode recordings of the lectures. Then now we have a very strong system. Every fortnight, we re-examine our data.
Right.
Which we could have done in the past.
Right. Thank you for sharing that. And I think one more thing the students will benefit from is the team, because they can't start off their journey alone. And what qualities they should look for in a co-founder or like a teammate. It'll be helpful for them to start forming a team if you can share just 1 or 2 points.
Absolutely. The first 5 people in your organization can make your organization or break your organization. So that's the strongest statement what I can make. So whenever you choose your team, never think, boss, this is my friend who understands me, with whom I can travel. First, try to understand what is his capability, what are his core strengths, what is lacking in you and what is exactly available in him. Each of the co-founding team should have complementary skill set, and then your vision should be inclined. Your missions can be different. You can take up different paths, but ultimate vision should be inclined. Then only you can grow your organization. So ideally, when you choose your co-founder or someone, try to understand how well he is attached to that particular problem. Now, I will give you an example of eMotorrad, which is an e-bike manufacturing company based out of Pune. So we closed recently in the month of November, 24 crores of funding for them. So now 4 of the people are from engineering background, who have been the classmates and then the roommates. They took up this venture. But what has happened is that before starting eMotorrad, they have done a lot of small businesses in the past on individual basis, which were completely aligned to the clean energy segment. Now, post engineering, everyone has their own share of learnings. They went on pursuing different. So one person did postgraduate diploma in marketing. One of them has literally learned hard finance to multiple courses, but not through a professional degree. So they have brought in the complementary skills, because they have been doing small businesses together from the past. They know where they are lacking. So they have built that complementary skill set in each of them. And then they came across, boss, this is something we will be doing. And then today they are doing somewhere annual turnover of like 80 crores. They are present in 6 countries across, apart from India. They have 147 dealers in India who are selling their EV bikes. So that's how you need to build your team. Any further questions?
Any questions from the audience, please? From the audience, students, mentors. Okay. Yeah.
Sir, in capital ventures, what kind of ideas are getting funded?
See, whenever you look at investments, every time there is a fever. So every time there is an interest from the investor side, it keeps changing. So earlier there was EdTech, which was really booming. Every investor was interested in investing in EdTech. Today, none of the investors is interested in even evaluating EdTech startup unless until you have done a substantial growth. Similarly, whenever you reach out to investors, you need, as a startup founder, you need to do some background check of the investor. So with who are the right set of investors at a particular point of time. Now, if I'm a healthcare startup who is looking to raise maybe 7 crores of funding. So now every investor will not invest 7 crores. There are certain investors who will be investing up to 7 crores. There are certain investors who are investing only beyond 10 crores. There are investors who are investing only beyond 25 crores. Now, if you're looking to raise 7 crores, you need to create a list of investors who are ideally looking at healthcare startups and looking to invest up to 7 crores. So once you curate this list, maybe of 10 investors, then you need to do background check. So what is the background check? You need to understand their portfolio. Which all startups have they been investing in the past? And what has been the pattern? How much is the funding amount they are investing? And what is their investment thesis? Investment thesis is nothing but whenever any investment organization forms, they define their thesis. Basis these things, we will be investing in startups. Is my story fitting well with their investment thesis or not? Am I meeting the parameters or not? Then you need to start approaching the investors. Every time, though there is a seasonality in the sector, however, other startups are also getting funded. Once you have a very definitive approach towards the investors, then you will be able to raise capital. Unless until you doesn't have a definitive approach, you keep speaking to hundreds of investors, but none of them will show interest, or you will not be able to go for next round of meetings once you complete your first round.
Sir, how the founder can separate the market, sir, apart from the person who's going to fund for that idea and the person who's the founder of the idea, how they should separate the market between each other? How should they take their profits? How should they separate their profit?
In the startup ecosystem, there is nothing such as like a market differentiation or something. To be honest, any investor who invests in money in the startup, he stays with you for a maximum duration of 5 to 7 years. In 5 to 7 years, either you raise next round of investment, a larger round of investment where you provide exit to the existing investor, because in these 5 to 7 years, your business keeps growing where your valuation also increases. Basis that when the new investor comes in, he comes at a very higher valuation so that you provide exit to the existing investor. The second option is that in case if you are not able to raise capital, there are certain terms and conditions which are predefined when an investment happens in the startup. Either as a startup founder or the organization, you need to buy back the shares. So when you buy back the shares, there is something called annualized rate of interest. So if it is a duration of 5 years, every year the investor will be charging maybe 12% of interest, where you pay amount accordingly, pay back to the investor, and then you get those shares what have been allocated to the investor back on your organization. The third option is that because there is something called CCD, CCP as a different investment structure, which different instruments where the investment happens. According to those instruments, there are certain terms and conditions which come into the picture. There is something like tag along clause, drag along clause. These all things needs to be defined earlier when you raise an investment. According to that, there is certain conversions happens. So to address your specific question, I need at least 30-35 minutes to give you in detail context of each of these clauses. So in typical, what happens is that when the next round of when you raise next round of capital at a higher valuation, you give exit to the existing investor or you buy back the shares.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think we can go for the next. Sir, thank you, Mr. Sharif, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for joining with us from Mumbai.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me on the panel.
Yeah, evening we will be announcing the team's final list to the final eight to be held in Gujarat, Gandhinagar in April 2nd week. So any of the teams, they need some advice from you when they go and face the final, and they'll be in touch with you, sir.
Sure, sir. Sure.
We'll be communicating them to you. Okay.
Sure, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next bootcamp session will be on value innovation by Dr. Vivek Manoharan and Ms. Desika Prabhakar. Dr. Vivek Manoharan is a biomedical scientist